Do you remember your first song back then when you started?
I think I do. I think I do.
What was
Yes.
the title of it, or what was it about, if you can remember?
It wasn't a title. It was just like a verse. So it was just like Domani song. That's probably what we named it.
Was that something that actually saw the light of day, or was that something?
Nah, it just stayed in the house. It stayed in the family house, and my little brothers and siblings was just playing it over and over, and I felt like a superstar.
Do you remember what age you were at the time?
Probably like 8 or 9.
And why didn't it ever see the light of day back then?
I didn't care. I didn't make it to put it out, and I wasn't even thinking of nothing like that. But I just made the song. That's a good, yeah, I don't know. I want to look for it now.
And what was the reaction to that song from people on the inside?
Brothers and sisters, King really liked that song. He was like hyping me up and it was like, do the song. And I was like, man, then I do it. I play it. But now yeah, it was hyping me up.
Did your parents hear this song?
I don't know. My first song, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know like my couple songs after. Or maybe like my next song after they probably heard.
Now, for time reference, it's September 2021 now, but what's your creative process like these days?
Today, I've
Yeah.
been chilling. Like recently, I've been chilling. I haven't even. Last night I was at the studio. I was chilling, but I haven't really been recording. I've been taking a break. I like to live life and not, you know, think about. I like to take it all in and I focus on one thing at a time. Okay, I can't multitask. I gotta do one thing and just do that 100%, and then get back to doing something else 100%. So right now I'm just living life 100%, and we'll see what the music sounds like later on.
But curious, just generally speaking, what is your creative process like when you are creating?
Listen to beats. Sometimes I find the beat quicker than other times. I find a beat that just matches like my vibe at the time. Sometimes I can pinpoint what type of beat I want. Sometimes I can't. So I just listen to beats and then I might like some and I just have a couple melodies or a couple lines in my head and then I say pull it up and we just record. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to producers, you find them or they reach out to you?
Could be both. Yeah. A lot of times it's a good mixture of both.
Is it more one way or the other, or is it truly 50-50?
Might be more we just run into each other.
You prefer a producer cook something up from scratch for you, or are you a folder sifter? You sift through a folder of beats.
Yeah, just send me the folder. Just send me the folder. I rarely I rarely like do that cook up and then I make a song right after you make the beat. I rarely do that. I don't even remember doing that actually. I just it just be too many opinions in the room in my head. I feel like cause you made this beat. You want this beat to be so. I mean, you want this song to be so great, and I feel like I don't want to think about that while I'm creating. So just send me the beat. I don't want to have to cover up how I feel about the beat. And when you're in the room, you might not get like a real reaction of how I think about the beat, cause I'm just thinking about how people feel. But just send me the beat, man. Just send me the beats, and that's how I am right now, though. I would love to get in and create and like work like that because I haven't, but that's mainly how I've been doing it.
How long do you have to listen to a beat before you know if it's the right one for you or not?
It could be a couple seconds. It could be a voice in my head telling me I need to do this beat, and I just listen to it for hours. It really could be anything. Listen to it for days, or it could be a couple seconds. It's just like you. It's like it's no real. You can't really pinpoint it.
Have you ever passed on a beat for whatever reason and it ended up becoming a bigger song for someone else?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's a good question though.
Ever had a beat pulled from you after recording to it already?
You know what? My bad. Can we?
Yeah, we
Yes.
could go back.
Okay, so like the song didn't come out, but this is what happened. So I was in the studio and I was on my side of the studio. It's like two different sides. So I'm on my side of the studio, and then on the other side of the studio is DMX. DMX and like dope producers, Hit Boy. Okay, so boom, they playing beats, and then I say, it's a beat out here. I say, nobody asked me, but I was just like, I like that beat. I want that beat, and then it was understood that, yeah, Domani, I'm finna send you this beat, and DMX walks in the room. He walks in the room. He's like, play that back, and then I was like, and then they played it back, and he just like started freestyling in the air, and from then I was like, this is DMX song. This is DMX beat, and he had that beat and he recorded on it. And I'm glad I didn't get that beat. But I don't know what he was saying because I was like walking in and out. I was just hearing it like as the door was opening and closing. But it was dope. It was dope. I didn't hear the full song, but that man was spitting. But yeah, that's my story.
And why do you say you were happy it wasn't for you?
Because sometimes I get beats and I don't even do them. DMX just got this beat that I knew was dope. And he was like just spitting. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't get that. Like my experience watching you doing that was way better.
Now, fast forwarding to the next question I had for you, I wanted to know if you've ever had a beat pulled from you after recording to it already.
No. Oh yes, yes I have. When I was very young and when I was just doing music and just doing what I heard on the radio and doing what I seen on TV. Back when I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't, but I really didn't then. Yeah, I did a little Kitty Money song, and I think I was talking about colorful sneakers or something called Uno. My mom was playing it. It was a really whack song, I think. But then yeah, the producer like got someone else on the song way bigger, and it was on the radio, and my mom was so mad, and I think back then I was like, yeah, that's messed up, but now she still talk about it. And now I'm like, Mom, my song, in my head, I never say this out loud, but in my head, I was like, Mom, my song was whack. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that did happen.
Back then, when it did happen, was it discouraging to you?
I don't think I cared. I don't even think I cared. I was still doing a lot of stuff. I was skateboarding. I was doing all type of creative stuff, man. The music was just something else. So that's why, like, my parents always supported me, but like they never really knew what I was taking serious. And music just stayed there, when everything else kind of faded away.
What was it about music that kept your attention to it when other things had faded?
I liked listening to music, and okay, that was one thing. I liked listening to music, and then me expressing myself and me liking my own music, I could just listen to myself all the time. And it's like I'm making music for me. And sometimes that's probably why this album took so long, because I've been listening to my music. And people been telling me, like, drop. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm already dropping. In my head, I've been dropped. And I'm like, I just heard it. But I'm glad to be dropping this album right here, man, Skydive.
What's the meaning behind that title?
Just about commitment, taking a leap of faith. I just listened to all the songs that were like my favorite songs that I made, and I realized that I just kept talking about like falling in love and falling for someone, or falling out of a situation. And I was just like, I felt like I was speaking to myself. And yeah, it's just about commitment and just taking that leap. Commitment. And I'm just saying, I jumped. And a lot of people don't jump because they don't know that parachute gonna open, and we'll see if mine does.
Now, was this a title you come up with or somebody coined for you for this project?
I came up with this. I think I was driving. I just came up with it.
Now, when it comes to your music, is there an overall message with it? Your music, generally speaking. Not in regards to this particular album, but just your music, period. Is there an overall message with your music?
I think it could be. Um, but I think it's just be yourself. Be yourself, and just anybody could do it. You can put your mind to anything. I mean, anything you put your mind to, you can do it. And be yourself. I think that's what it is. And it doesn't matter where you come from, stuff like that.
Who is your music for?
Artists, maybe artists, or just people who like to chill, people who just vibe, or people who like to think, or people who like stories. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Is there an age minimum to listen to your music?
I hope not. I hope babies and elderly people can listen to my music.
Now, what about this? We talked about the beat. I kind of skipped ahead by accident on those last couple questions, so
Take your time.
I'm gonna rewind myself back and ask you these sets of questions here.
Okay.
But I wanted to actually ask you some questions in regards to your lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the type that writes them, or do you freestyle and punch in?
I think it's a good mixture of both. It might be like 49, 51 sometimes, but sometimes I write it in my notes if I'm like always conscious of like the room. It's hard for me to like just get in my zone. When I do get in my zone, I usually don't write, but I like to tell stories, and I don't like people questioning my story, and like my engineer, like he just asking me like, "What that happened? Oh, who did that?" Like while I'm writing, I'm like, "Let me just say what I'm saying." Psych. That's my engineer. I'm like, "Let me just say what I'm saying." He asked me about the story before I finished the story, so then I started writing, and then but then sometimes I freestyle, like when I'm just in the zone, I don't really care. Yeah.
You said it's 49:51.
Yeah.
49 being?
49 being sometimes I'm writing 49% of the times, or 51% of the time I might be freestyling, or vice versa.
Now, what were you like from the very beginning? Were you a writer first or a freestyler punching
From
in?
the very beginning, I was a freestyler because that's all I knew. I was just coming up with it in my head, and then people just kept saying, "Man, you gotta write it," and they trying to put it in my head like, "How you know what you're saying unless you write it down?" And like, you know how people try to, but that's what they do, and that could help. That did help, but I didn't like writing. I didn't like seeing my handwriting. I didn't like, sometimes I couldn't spell words, and I didn't like to not use a word because I couldn't spell it, and then somebody seeing what I'm writing and all of that. So I started freestyling, but now I just type it in my phone or freestyle.
Ever had help with your lyrics?
Yeah, a lot of times, especially in the beginning. Now it's like my story is just like sometimes only I know my story. And it's like, how can you help me? Unless it's like you should say this line, say this, say and instead of but. Hey man, I like your last flow. Do that. Of course I'm listening, people, because I got good friends, man. They keep it real. Plenty of times my engineer said, "Nah, that was trash." And I said, "Mute it. Don't delete it, but mute it. Let's try something else." But yeah.
Ever had someone write a hook for you?
Yeah. Not recently, but like earlier. I told you I ain't know what I was doing when I was young. I just knew I wanted to be a rapper. I knew I wanted to be a rapper, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Ever had someone write a verse for you?
Not recently. Not goddamn. But when I was really young, I wanted to be a rapper. I was like, yeah, I want to be a rapper. And everybody around me was like, "This how you do it." And then it wasn't until I realized this isn't me. I like grew out of it, like at a young age though. I just grew out of it. And I was like, I don't want to even wear this chain anymore. And I was like, I don't want to talk about money all the time, you know? And yeah.
Now, for people watching that are fans of you, are you able to pinpoint where in your career that was when you make that
It's
switch?
probably like a lot of songs that's not even out when I was like 9 or like, 9 or 10.
Okay. I didn't know if it was public music and you were able to
No.
say, okay, this batch was when I was.
No, I'm still back to my first song.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ever had, excuse me, let me back up. Ever helped other recording artists with their lyrics?
Yeah, we all do, you know? Like I said, it could be like, I didn't like that last flow, or you should say this instead of this, or I'm writing for people, like I'm in writers camps, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's like rap and hip hop, where it's like, you gotta write your stuff. And I have no problem with that, because I write all my stuff now. And I've been writing all my stuff for a long time, anyway, it's like singers and pop singers, and like, it doesn't really matter. A good song is a good song. You have a great voice. I want you to sing it. It's like, that's putting music together. That's just like movies. It's like, you're a great director, and you wrote this great film, and you're a great lighting man, and we're going to make this movie. That's like how music is. But I write all my stuff.
When it comes to helping others with their lyrics, ever wrote for the opposite sex?
Not like, yeah. Yes, I have. That's crazy. I don't know why I'm not like thinking, like knowing this stuff off the top of my head, but yes.
And when you have written for the opposite sex, you write it from their perspective? You write it from a female's perspective?
Yeah, or sometimes it's just stuff in general. Like, it's just broad topics. You know, everybody falls in love. Everybody know what pain is. Everybody know what happiness is, you know. It's like when you get specific and start saying pronouns and he and she, and, you know.
Ever ghost wrote?
Nah, I never did that.
Okay. Now, when it comes to lyrics, is it easier or harder to write for yourself versus for others?
I think it might be harder writing for myself because I'm like harder on myself. But a lot of time when I'm writing songs, it's not like I don't have who I want this song to go to in my head. I just write music that I feel, you know. I feel this way right now, and this is what that song is gonna sound like. And later on, I say, you know what, such and such might sound great on this, or I heard X, Y, and Z was putting together a project I want to see. You know, they might like this, but I just make music that I feel. I don't try to. It's not. I don't like thinking. You know, when I'm creating, I just make music.
When it comes to your own personal lyrics, how honest are they?
95%.
What's the other 5%?
Let me say 90%.
Okay. What's the other 10%?
It could be me writing for someone else, or it could be maybe I don't want to be that honest because I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, I care about that more than anything. So.
Which leads me to my next question. Ever wrote or freestyled and punched in, because you do both, a lyric so honest it was requested to be removed by someone?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Care to
You
share?
about to
Care to share what happened?
It was just like, maybe we should change this right here. It's just like something like that. And, yeah, it was just like that. You wanted to know the line.
It's whatever you care to share. I won't force it.
You don't ask, nah. I ain't finna say it.
Now, how did you feel after that happened?
Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. How do I feel? Mm,
Like, do you ever go back? Okay, the song is out. You were asked to remove a lyric. You ever go back and listen to it and be like, man, I should have stuck to my gun. I should have been more honest on that song. I should have really said how I feel. Is it anything of that nature or?
nah, it didn't get that deep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff is not out. A lot of stuff is not out. I'm not gonna lie, and but you said, did I ever do what? I'm sorry.
No, I asked, have you ever put a song out publicly and you listened to it from a lyric that was requested to be removed?
And I wanted it to be more honest?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
The stuff I'm talking about is stuff that's not out.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that's not out. I told you I just be listening to my music, and a lot of my music, and everybody be like, you need to drop. Like, in my head, I'm dropped, you know?
Is there a lot of control on your music?
Like what?
Like
what
are there I don't know how the right phrase is, but is it, for lack of a better phrase, is it powers that be that are restricting some of the music?
Like people saying, no, you shouldn't say that a lot?
Not even that, or like, is there, I want to know the right phrase to say here. Is there...
Take your time, man.
Yeah, is there like restrictions when it comes to your music or what you put out? Are you truly putting out what you want to personally put out, or is there, for lack of a better phrase, red tape on certain things?
Right. You talking about like, do I want to put out some stuff, but I don't because I'm overthinking it somehow?
No, I mean...
You talking about lyrics or you talking about songs?
I'm talking about your music, period.
Okay.
Because you said there's so much stuff that hasn't been put out.
Mm-hmm.
So is that really more so your say? Is that
it's definitely
over
my
you
say.
that is... Okay.
My bad. It's definitely my say. I'm not like in no crazy contract or nothing like that. It's just, man, artists be in we be in our head so much, man. We want stuff to be so perfect. And it's easy to say this, but it's like sometimes you just gotta just put it out. Sometimes you gotta just put it out. But we want stuff a certain way in our head. And I think it's even crazier for me because it's like I'm creating this like this painting in my head of how I want everything to be, and I'm like just sometimes it's just you need to just put it out.
Well, what about this? You do have 2 musicians as parents.
Right.
Right? And they're very popular and famous and successful with their music.
Yes.
And I guess so that's more so what I'm asking. When it comes to your music, are they looking over your shoulder on it and saying...
Nah.
Okay.
Not at all. Sometimes they don't even know I dropped. Sometimes I gotta let them know. You know, I dropped this.
Okay. I didn't know if it's because of your age, maybe...
No,
I mean, I know you're 20 now, but...
you know, it is like sometimes I made songs and I was like, dang, I don't know if I want my mom to hear this, you know, hear me talk like this, or other people, but it's nobody around me saying, no, you can't drop this. That's not what it is.
Okay.
It's all in my head.
What's been your hardest bar so far? Hardest thing you ever said so far?
Man, nothing at all. That jump be hard, bro. Sometimes the producers, the beat be harder than the songs sometimes, but the hardest bar I've ever said?
Yeah.
I got to zoom in on the bar. Let me see. Brother, I don't even know.
No problem.
But I will think throughout this interview.